Oh, Dave, look, just remember what I told you. No matter what Amber says, maintain your composure. The jury's going to be watching you very closely this afternoon.
Well, she won't be saying anything I haven't heard before. It shouldn't be too bad.
Well, that's true, but when it's done in public like this in front of a jury, it could hurt. You coming?
Oh, in a second. Terry, can I see you?
Oh, sure.
Okay, well, don't be too long. We're about to get started.
Is everything all right?
No, I'd like you to do a favor for me.
Oh, Alex.
Well, call her. Hey, what's wrong?
It's Alicia. I brought in to see Dr. Hathaway. She's been so congested, and he's been in there with her over half an hour, and no one will talk to me. And I have this feeling that something's terribly wrong, and they're afraid to tell me. Please help me.
Guess I've made this sound earth-shattering.
No, thanks.
Well, it's about Stacy. I know I'll be able to take what Amber has to say, but I don't think she will. And I'm worried that, well, she won't be able to handle it.
You want me to help her out?
I know you would have offered, but I thought I'd ask anyway.
I'm glad you said something. Now I think I can be a little bit more sensitive.
Thanks, Terry. You've been a big help.
Did you enjoy your lunch? I hope so. In fact, I hope you're enjoying everything, your freedom, taking advantage of it. Because it means you'll miss it that much more when it's taken away from you.
Well, she's in rare form.
So's Harold. He did a good job turning the testimony around this morning.
Well, it should be a fun afternoon.
Would you do me a favor?
What?
Remember that the man she's going to be talking about no longer exists.
Well, he does for her.
And you've done everything you can to try to convince her otherwise.
Dave. Excuse us, Terry. I need to show you something over here.
Mrs. Davidson, have you seen Stacy?
No, I thought she was with you.
She was. We were supposed to go to lunch, and then she backed out. She said she had to go over to the Chronicle, but I just called up over there, and she never showed up.
You've checked her apartment?
I've checked everywhere.
Well, wherever she is, I'm sure she's all right. Actually, it's probably good that she's not going to be here. Amber's going to be testifying this afternoon.
Oh, is that why they're passing out shields and helmets in the hall? You know, it really makes me mad that what she's going to say up there is going to be taken as evidence by the jury.
I think that the jury will see it for what it is.
I hope so. Maybe you'll give her enough rope and she'll hang herself. You know, I'm testifying this afternoon, too.
Gil!
But don't worry. I'm not going to give Lockwood any help in nailing Dr. Phillips.
Who's she?
That's Wendy Pope. She works for him a lot. I don't know why she wasn't here last year. Probably doing some research, but she's a big gun.
Now, you say Alicia is sick.
Yes. At first, I thought it was just a cold. But then it wouldn't go away, and then she started coughing, so I decided I was going to bring her in to see Dr. Hathaway. And then I remembered that Mondays he's here in the hospital.
Right.
Seems he asked me to leave when he was going to examine her, and it seems like he's been in there forever.
Where is he?
He's in the examining room down the hall.
You wait right here, and I'll go see what I can find out, okay?
There is something terribly wrong, isn't there? I mean, they don't usually ask parents to leave, do they?
No, but that's probably just Wes. You sit tight, and I'll be right back, okay?
Can I use your phone to call my husband? Thank you. Hello? Yes, may I speak with Gene Redland, please? Yes, his desk is in the city room. Thank you. Hello, Gene? Oh, hi, Ed. No, it's Carl. Is he there? Well, no, everything isn't all right. I mean, I'm here at the hospital with Alicia. Well, yes, would you please do that as soon as he comes in? Thank you. Excuse me, can you tell me anything about how my little girl is doing?
I'm sorry, I don't have any more information. But Dr. Hathaway did say that he wanted to admit her.
What?
Now, look, don't go in just yet. They're taking some blood samples.
But the nurse told me that they're admitting Alicia.
Wes may admit her. He's going to wait until he gets the results of the test back.
But why? I mean, why are they admitting her? What's wrong?
Carla, he's afraid that she may have a lung infection.
All rise. Be seated.
I was worried about you.
No need to be.
This court is now back in session. Is the prosecution ready to call its next witness?
I'm ready, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
The state would like to call Miss Amber Phillips to the stand.
Raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Be seated.
Would you state your name and address for the court?
My name is Amber Phillips. My address is 1132 Banbury Circle, apartment D, Kingsley.
And your occupation?
Manager of Modeling Associates.
What was your relationship to the victim?
She was my mother.
And to the defendant?
He's my father.
If you don't mind, Miss Phillips, it's that relationship I'd like to concentrate on. Would you describe Dave Phillips as a good father?
Most definitely not.
And why is that?
He was an alcoholic. My sister, my brother, and I did more parenting of him than he ever did of us.
Could you please be more specific?
Well, when we got up every morning, we would find him passed out on the living room couch. It was our job to get him into the guest room before my mother came downstairs.
Your job when?
When we were teenagers, still living at home. We got a weekly allowance for doing this, among other things.
And just what do these other things include?
Cleaning up after his messes. Lying to his business associates when they would call and ask where he was. Lying to my mother, who would ask if he had any hidden booze lying around. Lying to ourselves that the lives that we were leading were normal.
Well, why couldn't you just say no to him? After all, giving up a weekly allowance is no hardship.
My father got very violent when he was drunk.
Oh, does that mean you were afraid for your physical welfare?
That's exactly what I mean.
I see. Did he ever beat your mother?
My mother is the only one who can answer that question. We always hid when they fought.
He never hit her.
But I do remember one instance when she cried out in pain, and by the time I'd gotten the courage up to go and investigate it, he had already run out of the house, and she refused to answer any of my questions about it.
It wasn't the way she's making it sound.
It's all right. She'll be cross-examined.
Tell me, Miss Phillips, was there any instances when your father drove while he was intoxicated?
Only a few hundred.
Did you ever ride with him when he was?
I tried to avoid it. But yes, there were a few times. Christmas 1977 was one.
Tell us about that night.
There was a family dance at Kingsley's Country Club. None of us really wanted to go. Yes. My sister Stacy, myself, my brother Kevin, and even my mother. None of us really wanted to. humiliation of his falling down on the dance floor, or grabbing the microphone and pretending to be master of ceremonies, or listening to the snide comments of our friends. But we went. We went because he promised he wouldn't drink. We went because it was Christmas Eve. And on Christmas, families are supposed to be together. But he didn't keep his promise about not drinking. We didn't know it at the time, until we were driving home. And we swerved so that he couldn't hit one of his hallucinations. We smashed into a tree, and my brother Kevin was killed instantly. So you see, my mother was only his second murder.
Objection! Objection, Your Honor!
Order! Order! And Miss Phillips, you will stick to statements that are supportable by facts. The whole purpose of these proceedings is to determine the facts, and nothing else.
I'm sorry.
I'll bet you are.
Gil, please.
Miss Phillips' remarks will be stricken from the record. Continue your questioning, Mr. Lockwood.
Miss Phillips, what was your family life like after the death of your brother?
Well, there were no more pretendings. Everyone acknowledged the fact that he was drinking. Actually, it was difficult to keep it a secret because he was drunk openly all the time. And he and my mother didn't pretend any longer about their marriage. They were divorced shortly afterwards.
And did you see your father after the divorce?
Very rarely. And when I did, it was very unpleasant, to say the least. I do remember once, though, he didn't see me. But I was coming out of a movie theater, and he was across the street. He was fighting with another drunk over some bottle of liquor. The other drunk won, and as he was walking away, he shouted after me, threw garbage at him from the gutter, and shouted how he was going to get even.
Well, in all honesty, the man sitting here doesn't look like the kind of person one usually finds fighting with street people.
I'm under oath, Mr. Lockwood. He's the same man.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. What I really meant was there have been many stories about your father's change of ways, some of them even in the newspaper. Has he ever spoken to you about such change?
Yes. He told me he wasn't drinking anymore.
Did you believe him?
No, I didn't. He told me that the night Kevin was killed.
Order.
Well, would you at least acknowledge that he kept up the appearance of not drinking?
Oh, yes. He was always very good at that.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is implying here that the defendant's sobriety is an illusion. That's
Objection
not true.
sustained. Miss Phillips, when an answer calls for a simple yes or no, that is what you will give. Is that understood?
Yes.
And when you are referring to me, you will use the term Your Honor. Is that also understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. Continue, Mr. Lockwood.
Miss Phillips, did your father try to reestablish a relationship with you, your sister, and your mother?
Yes.
When?
It was about the same time last year.
Did he succeed? Miss Phillips?
Yes and no. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I know what you said, but this is very complicated.
Please speak freely.
He was eventually on speaking terms with my mother and with my sister, but a few days before she was killed, she was very angry with him, and she told me that Stacy was too.
But that was only for a few days. Just isn't telling the whole story.
You'll get your turn, Stacy.
And why was your mother so angry?
Because he couldn't stand the idea of her marrying Lee Carruthers. He couldn't stand the thought of her being happy with another man. That's why he killed her.
Objection, Your Honor.
Why are you doing this to us? Why can't you, for once in your life, accept the responsibility of what you've done?
Amber, stop it!
Oh.
Why can't you tell the truth? You know he didn't do it. He didn't do it. It's only that you hate him so much.
I said order. I said order. Now, I am not going to say this again. If there are any further outbursts, I will have this courtroom cleared. Miss Phillips, you are about this far from a contempt citation.
They're lies. All lies. He didn't kill her. I know he didn't kill her. Oh, I have a headache. I have some aspirin, but I left it in my purse and it's inside.
Here, I've got some. You take this.
Why does she hold on to bitterness like that? I went through the same thing she did. It hurt me just as much.
Hold out your hand. Go. I wish I could answer you, Stacy. I've been asking the same questions about my sister all my life. Stacy, would you like to go outside, take a walk, and get some fresh air?
No. I just want to sit right here.
Do you mind if I join you?
No, that'd be fine.
Dr. Matthews to X-ray. Dr. Matthews to X-ray.
Well, now I rushed over here as fast as I could. Any more news?
No.
Well, have you at least seen her?
They won't let me. They keep doing tests.
Well, what about Gene?
I can't get in touch with him either. McGovern has sent him to Perryville on some wild goose chase, and I spoke to some reporter in the office, and they said there's no way I can get in touch with him.
Well, did you at least leave a message as to where you were?
Yes. I should have brought her here the moment she started coughing.
Now, Carla, you didn't do anything wrong.
You heard me this morning. I told you it sounded serious, and still I didn't do anything.
Sweetheart, you're not making sense. Now, that was only a couple of hours ago. Now, you did do something.
Yes, but what if those hours make a difference?
Oh, now, stop it now. Now, Carla, you can second-guess yourself from now until Judgment Day. It's not going to do you a bit of good. You didn't do anything wrong. Now, your daughter got sick and you called the doctor. Enough said. Now, where's Jimmy?
I asked Mem to stay there until he got home, and I also asked her to stay tonight if it's necessary.
Well, it won't be.
I wish I could believe that.
Well, sweetheart, can you believe this? Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Miss Phillips, did your father ever strike you when he was drunk?
He threatened me.
Well, I understand that, but that's not the question. The question is, did your father ever strike you when he was drunk?
Not while he was drunk, no.
Oh, but he did hit you at some time then. Why?
It was a long time ago.
I suggest you try to remember.
Your Honor, the defense is intimidating the witness.
Your Honor, this witness has taken some very gray areas and painted them a definite shade of black to the detriment of my client. You yourself have had to reprimand her. Now, if I'm being intimidating, I apologize. But I am sick and tired of having to remind this witness that it's her responsibility to tell the truth.
Objection overruled. Miss Phillips, now you testified that your father struck you. I find it difficult to believe you can't remember why. Please answer the question.
He hit me because he found me smoking.
What, smoking a cigarette?
No.
What, a cigar, a pipe?
Joint.
A what?
A joint.
You mean marijuana?
Yes.
How old are you when this happened?
I was 15.
And did it happen in his house?
Yes.
Don't
But
you
you see,
think
I
it's
was
Don't you think it's possible that your father, walking in on you, his teenage daughter, smoking marijuana, might decide to take disciplinary action by knocking it out of your mouth without being drunk?
I suppose
Thank
it's
you very
possible.
much.
Yes,
I would
but don't
imagine
think
that any thinking parents would do the same thing if they walked in and caught their children experimenting with drugs. Do you like your father?
No.
Not at all? Not even a little bit? Nothing about him?
No.
Do you love him?
No.
Do you believe that he killed your mother?
Yes.
Miss Phillips, would you go to the lengths of saying anything to get him convicted?
I object, Your Honor. Counsel
Your Honor,
is
I'll
leading
just
the
withdraw the
witness.
question. Matter of fact, that was the last question I had.
Order, please.
He still hasn't come.
What, did he call in?
No.
Well, at the very latest, he'll be home for dinner and... Oh, my gosh. I almost forgot. I was supposed to have Russ Weaver and Blair Simpson over for dinner tonight. I'll have to go to call the clinic and let Russ know that I can't make it.
Mama, wait.
Dr. Hathaway will be out to talk to you in a minute.
Oh, no. Now, it isn't good, is it?
No. Alicia does have a lung infection.
Oh, no.
Call it. We're watching it very closely. Now, she's on oxygen, and she's receiving antibiotics. I'm afraid, though, it does mean she'll have a hospital stay of a few days, at least.